Okay, here we go. We are using the correct camera. All right, this is an example that comes with the LovyanGFX library. And you can see the little icons moving around there. And what it is, first off, go down here, you can see the icons are hexadecimal. You can actually see the pattern pretty much. And they've got info, alert, and close X. You can see what they're talking about there. The info one, the little eye flying around everywhere, and the alert is the yellow sign, and the closed X, you can see that floating around there. So you see that they're using these three different hexadecimal files that are 124 bytes long. Oops. Oops, I'm wrong. 124 pixels, yes, and each pixel, I have to think about what I'm saying. Okay, look at that. That turned out to be a really interesting pattern there, didn't it? Okay, anyway, sidetracked as usual. So it takes the icons up here at the top. Let's see. You see I had to make my own include file here because of this panel is different on this cheap yellow display than the other ones. It doesn't pick it up automatically. Okay, and we're looking down. Let's see. Okay, so this is the height and width of the icons, 32 by 32. Frame count. This is the information. Sorry, this is the information that you see on the top of the screen here. Frames per second, objects, and frames per second. So it's got 50 of these little buggers floating around here, and the frames per second, you see it's 32. I'm holding my camera is the reason it's floating around like that. I haven't found a good way to mount it yet. Okay, and move is very interesting. It's a method inside the object info T, because each one is initialized. Each object is initialized. Okay, we got object count. There's 50 objects, and these are the objects. Okay, and we go into setup here. Set the rotation to 3 so it'd be facing the right direction. LCD width and height. And for object count, so for 50 of them, we build these objects. All the information for the object, the X and the Y, and the R, which is, we'll get down to it in a minute here. X, Y, DX, DY, image, R, Z, DR, and D. DR and DZ. Okay. Object, 50 objects, and we build 50 objects here. That's where we initialized our objects up there. Kind of initialize them. What do you call that? We set up the array. Okay, and we go through here, and this is where we're initializing them. Random, float. Okay, and then, but you see in move, we shuffle everything around. Just bounce them around. Okay, so where am I? In setup, and we create sprite 1, 2, and 3, and we set our swap whites to true, and we push the image. okay, and start right. All right, now here is where it gets interesting, because we've got our icons, and for the object count, we push, rotate, zoom. So we're putting our sprite in each one of these parameters. You've got the where you're sending it to, what we're sending it to the background, and the X and Y location, and the angle that you see them turning on the screen. Oops, come on, get up there. You see them turning on the screen. That's the angle, and the zoom, and you see how they move in and out. That's your zoom X and Y. And the transparency, of course, is the making the background transparent, which you see it's set to 0 there. And the Y is set by whether we are drawing on the top or the bottom sprite. Okay, let's go back up here. You see these are called, so we've got 2 sprites and 3 icons. Our icons, well, you can tell what the icons are, the alert and that, and the sprites are the 2 background, and the sprites is, okay, if not fail. Well, the sprites are half the size of the, set the color depth, and use the font. That's for those fonts up there at the top. And the, oh, there it is, sprite height. There it is. Divide by 2. So it is half the height of the screen height. Okay, so we've got 2 sprites. Both of them are half the height of the screen. And what we do is we've got 1 and 2. And we're going through the objects. And we run this method move, which is up in here in the class we defined up there. We run move on object, on each object, and so it goes through all those algorithms. But Y, we go through the LCD height, sprite height. Well, it's less than sprite height. New sprite height is right, what? It's half the width. So we only go so far. And flip, we're changing from sprite 0 to sprite 1, and we're writing everything on one of them that's in the background, and then we flip it up here and we push it to the foreground. So we write in the background and we push it to the foreground. And that's the way this is working. Increments our frame count. Frames per second. That's what that is there you're looking at. That's where it's incrementing how fast we're flipping through this. And we got 50 objects. Okay, so it looks easier than it is, because we are going to attempt to do another part, which is let's see, recent, my moving icons. So what I did was I found these cute little butterflies. Okay, I'm going to start this running while we're talking about this. I move the icons over here. And what you see here is I've got 3 different butterflies. And I use them in place of the icons. Actually, it's still called sprites and icons. So we'll come down here to icons, and you see where I changed the name of what we're putting in that icons Come up here. What we're putting in that, oh, I got lost. That icon sprite. You see it's a LGFX sprite, and that's icons. And we got the backgrounds here. And I tell you what, LovyanGFX is a slow compiler. It must be massive back there in the background. It must include all kinds of everything you can imagine. But, oh, there it is already. It's already compiling. I mean, already writing. Oh, and so there we go. You see, we got butterflies flying around now. But it's doing the same thing. It's just jumping around. So what we want to do is with our little man, our little knight, is make him, instead of drawing straight to the screen, because what he's doing is flickering, because I am covering where he's walking, and then I'm drawing him to the screen. I need to draw him to the back buffer on the background. So we're going to develop a background. We're going to make a two-piece background to display, and then put him on it, because you see you can't. Oops, there we go. You don't see any flicker. It's not the highest quality image, but it's a lot better than that other camera. I'm using my an old phone for my camera, and this is pretty awesome. The quality is a lot better. So there we go. That's what we're doing, and I'm sticking with it. See you in the next one.